What's up, Beer League hockey fans and fellow dumpers? Welcome to another Dump and Skate podcast, the number one hockey podcast in the Bluffton, Hilton Head area and the Poole, Georgia area. Where if you're still bitching about my mic, then you're not a loyal listener and probably score less goals than I do. I'm the podcast scheduler, official video editor, the broken, old, and decrepit bender, the ball buster, Jeremy. I found out who Jimmy DeLoach is. He's that guy that did that thing that one day, Abdu. With me, as always, the man that makes this podcast possible, the only producer that doesn't do any editing because Abdu is earning our free paycheck. The guy I have to occasionally nag to upload this podcast for you, the fans, the very hardworking, unless he's on jury duty Wednesdays, family man, Jeremy. Oh, look at that illegal move. I want to make a citizen's arrest. Whoop, whoop, Holland.
You got me good with that one. What is up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all shapes, sizes, and flavors? Welcome in to your favorite beer league podcast, the Dump and Skate podcast. That's right, number one in the Bluffton, Hilton Head, Pooler, Savannah area.
It's not a lie.
It's not a lie at all. Your number one beer league podcast. Oh man, coming to you on all markets. That's right. So, oh man, what did you say? There was something else you said that. Holy crap!
Is it about the mic?
Yes. So here's the deal, though. I was going to say there's actually a little bit of a valid gripe there, but what we need to do is they were really good at getting hot showers. So if you're going to complain about the mic, call Hardray or whoever's bought out your internet service, and maybe we can get that fixed too. Like if we know people that get showers hot at the rink, like maybe they can get the internet service fixed at your house.
Look, bitches,
that's the mic issue.
My mic is fine. It's just the internet connection. I have no control over that.
We're using the exact same mic. So it's not his mic, everyone. Well, I say everyone. One. It's not his mic. One. So knock it off already. Oh,
Before we get started, please like, subscribe, share. On all our social media, we have a TikTok now, and you and I were talking about this the other day. I am a 48, almost 49-year-old man using TikTok, and I feel like such a pervert. Like it's not for me. It's not for me.
Yeah, the shoe fits. Like just put that thing on and lace it up.
We're on Instagram, Facebook. Please like, subscribe, and share. We're at the 200 mark for Facebook. So I think what we will do is give you my username and password to my OnlyFans. We could do...
You're giving me your username, or you're giving it to a listener?
We'll give it to a listener. We'll just do a rapid fire. Hey, congratulations. You get a free 1 week subscription to Jeremy Abdu's OnlyFans.
They get a subscription to your OnlyFans or all of the OnlyFans that you're currently subscribed to?
Well, our guest that we are about to have on sold me out and said something about the videos that I was sending.
So you out, and you may be in a little bit of trouble again. Here we go. Again, even though we weren't recording. Oh gosh. Oh man. So, well, you've already brought it up. So we've got a good show today. Got a guest that's coming on from back where you're from. We're excited to have him on. Before we do that, speaking of back home, we've had a couple of people reach out here recently with some different requests. And so if you've got any sort of equipment, jersey, any kind of need, give our boys at BNR Sport a shout, brsport.com. Hit them up, let them help you out. They do a good job. We love those guys. They try to do their best to take care of all the guys down here. We really appreciate that. So if you need anything hockey related, give them a call, or not a call. Jump on the old interwebs and give them a visit at brsport.com. Go visit our boys at bnrsports.com. Abdu, intro our guest, buddy. Let's get him in.
All right. Our next guest is one of the nicest well-mannered young men that I know. Just ask the Kazaris, the Kowalski, anyone that's had the honor to meet him. He has a reputation of just being an overall legendary good dude. I just talked to one of somebody today, and she said that all the moms love him. He has played with the Youth Sabres program from 2008 to 2015, then went to play with the Wabanzi Warriors from 2015 to 2018, where he got a combined runner-up in states. Then went on to play at Illinois State D3 from 2019 to 2020, but had to stop due to concussions. He is also co-host of Moves at the Blue Line podcast, Sick Hands of a Beauty of and has a beauty of a shot. He used to be a huge gear geek guy. He used to know everybody, what they use, what kind of gear it was, Bauer, CCM, to the exact line. Now he's just a walking ESPN stats guy. Ladies and gentlemen, and D-Cups, I am proud to introduce to you my very good friend, B&R alumni, Dane, the Sports Center Dreyfus. Quick question.
Hit me with it.
Do you pee in your home shower? We ask all of our guests this.
You made it weirder than it was last time. Why did you say your home shower?
Well, because last time.
Do you pee in the shower at your house? That's all you got to say.
100%. Anyone that doesn't is a fucking liar.
Or Jeremy Abdu.
I do not.
Abdu's not a liar. Abdu's not a liar. That's what I'm saying. You're not a liar. You just don't pee in the shower.
I do not pee. He sits and pees. It makes sense.
The college kids we had on accused him of getting naked to take a dump.
It's better than an
dump, though. I would believe it. Oh my gosh!
Get naked when I take a dump. I do grow videos and send them out to people. Dane.
Look at that smile on his face.
Well, the thing is with dumps is it's kind of like a DEFCON thing for me when I poop. Like the more articles of clothing that come off, the higher like the more intensity. So like an Article 5 poop. Yeah, an Article 5 poop is fully naked, sweating. Yeah.
So I asked a couple people that are friends of ours, like, hey, do you know any good jabs or stuff that I could do for the introductions for Dane? And buddy, Jess and someone else said just an overall nice guy. And they're 100%. You are such a good kid. Tell your parents that you did a good job. And I was going with something with this, but now I forgot. I'm sorry. But you're a good kid. You're a good kid. You know your stuff. I asked Nate Kazari to be on our podcast a couple weeks ago, but he signed a contract and he can't. So I asked him, hey, I know you're going to have a good jab. To send me to Dane, but he didn't get back to me. So he's one of those guys that's on that social media trend that's always on his phone, but never texts me back. So.
Yeah, I mean, Nate's a beauty, and he'll always send me the clips of him breaking up a fight, or he's a ref, so watching a fight happen in the U show where he refs. But yeah, he told me about the waiver he had to sign, so he can't be on my podcast either. But I just wanted
to ask him to.
Yeah. I want to thank you guys for having me. Holly, it's nice to meet you.
Yeah, you too,
Jeremy, it's good to see you, but I also can't believe that being on TikTok was your realization that you were a pervert, because that's a long time coming. That's a long time coming.
Wait a minute. I don't think it's whether he just realized it. It's just the first thing that makes him feel like a pervert.
It really just gives me... it's just what kids are using, and now I'm trying to do it for our podcast, and I just don't.
And you feel like you feel like you're perving on a bunch of little girls.
Oh no, that is not true. Let's not say that.
Little boys, get it right.
Little boys, 12-year-old little boys.
I hate you guys.
Oh my gosh.
So, let's see. The only time that you and I have played together was men's league, a couple men's league games, and the Nashville tournament where we made it to the championship, and those are the only few times that we have played. Now,
yeah,
can I tell the story about how you got your fake ID taken away in Nashville?
I mean, you got to tell it right, because it wasn't my fake ID, but it was two of our teammates' IDs. But so let's see how you remember it, and I'll fact check you.
All right. So you were what, 20? You, Schlifke, and Bubba, right?
Yes.
Alex.
Yes.
These guys, Holland, went to Nashville. We made it to the championship. Same tournament that you and I just played in, different company, same rink.
Better outcome, sounds like, too.
Yeah, we lost in the championship, but
still, you made it there.
These three guys in their 20s go to Nashville with fake IDs, and they get in, not a problem, got in. But then they didn't stay. They did the rookie move of, hey, let's go bar hopping. And they went to several different bars. And then they got it taken away the first night.
So
whole weekend went down to the crapper then for you guys.
Funny enough, I didn't have a fake ID, and also something else. So we got into a bar. The one bar we went to that we got in when it was like early in the evening, so it was still dinner time. I think it was like Kid Rock's Honky Tonk.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Tristan Osborne was like slipping me, Schlifke, and Bubba drinks. But also when this tournament happened on the road, I was eating some fruit snacks, and I was like, oh man, like my jaw's hurting.
I remember that. Yeah.
My wisdom teeth came in. So that night, I was bitching and moaning in bed. I'm like, oh my God. I could barely talk.
He was.
I could barely talk. And Schlifke and Bubba went to a bar, and they had it taken away within like 15 seconds. I forget where they went, but the bouncer was like, yeah, kick rocks. And they're like, can we get it back? And he's like, no. But yeah, like, you fucking morons. But yeah, you're right. We should have stayed at that one bar the whole time.
Just stay at one rookie move.
We ended up we boozed in the pool, so that was a lot of fun. But that we were high as a kite for most of that fucking most of that trip. Yeah,
love it. So then you went to end up playing at Illinois State D3, and then you had an Eric Lindros, which ended your career fairly earlier than expected, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So like the one season I played there was Division III. I was playing against our rival Bradley. We were playing in a very shortened season because we just started up the D3 program. They had D1 and D2 ACHA. But coming down the middle, I had a 2-on-1, and I'm like, there's no way this defenseman's going to commit to me like on a 2-on-1 and just leave my other forward wide open. And I buried my head, which is a big no-no, and dished the puck to my winger, Greg Simon, and he proceeded to shoot it wide of the net while I had my helmet go into my forehead and took an elbow right to the face, busted lip. Can even, if you guys are good at editing, which apparently
we're not, we do not edit. we do not edit.
I could give you the photo of it to post, but
yeah, we can do that. I'll send it to me, and then I'll just take a clip and use the post for sure.
Yeah, it was a rough night, but then ended my season prematurely, and then COVID happened, and I tried to make a comeback, and then I got into another medical issue, which is unrelated to the noggin, and I don't know if it also leads to a funny beer league story. But then after COVID, tried out again, ended up getting cut, hung up the skates for good, and was like, it's over.
So then you ended up playing on my team, Sodomy, and look, only you and I, and maybe Cooch. We're the only three that I know that can get a good concussion during men's league. So tell me what happened with with that, because you said, hey, you called me up and you were just in shambles. Like, man, I can't play anymore. I hate to sound like such a pussy, but
like it's like I kind of got. Like, I got my bell rung twice playing men's league. One was deservedly so. Me and a kid were going at it. It wasn't deserved. The punishment didn't fit the crime. But me and this kid were going at it, and his dad skated halfway across the ice and jumped me and cheap shotted me.
That was with my team, right?
Yeah, they both were with your team. And then the other one was in another game, completely innocent hockey play. A guy kind of like, there was a 50-50 puck. A guy goes in and doesn't even fully reverse hit me, but just uses his body positioning. And then I go in and he hits me probably like right here. Maybe my chin's a little tucked, but I know where I'm going. And I thought nothing of it. And I tried to get up, and like my legs and arms would not agree with what I wanted to do. Like they felt like jelly. And I was like, okay, if I can't do a completely innocent hockey play, then I can't do it anymore. Mm-hmm. So it was difficult. It still is difficult. I get asked to play men's league all the time, and I still love the sport.
Oh, you better not play with anybody first, but us.
No. Dude, I haven't gotten to wear my new jersey with sodomy. Like, I haven't gotten to wear my 86 jersey. Like, I was so committed to it. I changed my jersey number. I went from 6 to 86. I'm like, we're bringing it out of retirement. And then I was just like, fuck, I can't do this anymore.
Do you miss it?
Every fucking day.
All the time, huh?
Dude, I dream about hockey still.
Oh,
I'll fucking dream about being back in high school and scoring a huge goal, or being back in college. Like it's one of those things where it's just
those are dreams, because you never scored a huge goal.
Not in high school. Actually, not in college either. Men's league, I was sick. I was fucking unbelievable.
Beer league. I really came into my own once I got into beer league. It was phenomenal.
Oh, I've never had such a skill discrepancy. And it's like, listen, I progressively got worse the more I played beer league, because drinking increased, exercise went down. And I mean, like, coming fresh from college hockey, and I mean, D3 ACHA is glorified junior varsity high school hockey. Like, I'll say it like it is. It's a little bit, it's more fast than probably varsity hockey, but it's way less skill. Like, you just have young men who are athletes that are still playing, so they're quick, but really some of them didn't even play on their varsity teams because they just weren't skilled. But it was still the most fun I had playing hockey. It was electric.
That's what I played at Georgia. It was club level, but it was D3 ACHA.
SEC club hockey. The Brodies must have loved you.
It was back
not with that mustache.
No.
Hey, what do you think of his mustache?
If I could grow one like that, I would. But mine comes in.
Man, yeah, okay.
Mine comes in very patchy on the sides, and then like a little goatee, like a Robert Downey Jr. style. Not a fan of it.
Good work. Yeah, it was. I was in college in 2002 and 2003 at Georgia. I transferred back to a local college here, and then played. I grew up playing roller, and so didn't really get on ice because South Georgia not a lot of ice, but didn't get on ice till later. But played for a couple of years up there, and it was a lot of fun. It was still relatively small at the time. It's gotten way bigger since obviously Austin, whose nephew plays for Alabama. And they're making some big moves to try to move into I guess they're getting away. They're trying to get away from the ACHA and move into the I think it's an AAU sanction, but I can't think of it. It's like a college hockey. It's not college hockey South, but it's something like that. But they're trying to move into a D1 where they can compete for national championships and stuff. So
I guarantee you in the next 10 years, like, and I know 10 years is a long time, the SEC will have an NCAA division in hockey.
100%.
The SEC loves money.
Yep.
There's money to be made in college hockey. It's absolutely electric. And do you guys know what Kentucky does for their home games?
Mm-mm.
Kentucky plays their games on like Friday and Saturday nights at like midnight. So they get their fans to go to the bar and then come to the game absolutely obliterated, and they pack the barn.
Do they really?
Incredible.
It's insane. You have to ask your nephew if he's played in a road game at Kentucky, because I've heard the atmosphere is incredible.
All right.
That's funny.
Dane, I got a little bit of a surprise for you.
Okay.
But when we're done with the surprise, I want you to talk a little bit about your podcast. So we have a surprise guest. I don't have an intro, but we will have her on later. She is family to you and me, and really good people. Do you know who it is? I'm
going to go with Steph Lemke is going to be my guest.
Oh, you know what? Lemke would be good. No, she's good friends with your parents.
Oh, my God.
So, yeah, we have on Dee Kazari. Is that her? Is she off camera? Is that her?
She's got her camera turned off, but I think she can hear us.
Dee, are you there?
I'm here.
All right. How are you, Dee?
Good, thank you.
So, Dee, you are good friends with Dane's parents and the whole Dreyfus family. That's correct, right?
That's correct. That's correct. I missed seeing Dane this week. We were there Saturday at his parents, meeting his new niece. Hung out with his parents, and we were just running a little late, so we missed our visit with Dane. But this is great that I get to say hi and chat with him today.
Absolutely. My face is so red because I have no idea what's coming with this.
Why are you blushing? Why are you blushing?
I don't know. You know my parents, and that's 1 degree too close for me.
Like, what? It's not like I changed your diaper or anything.
No, but you know the people that did. And Jeremy, you know Jeremy. He's gonna say something out of pocket. He's gonna say something that's for the views.
It's been happening the entire time. So what you don't know is she was sitting in the waiting room basically since we started, before we even started recording. So she's heard everything we've been talking
from
about
the videos
since
and
she
everything.
Hopped on everything.
Yeah,
oh my God.
I want to add that I am not on TikTok, but Steven is, so I know about that whole thing. And it's your algorithm. It's your algorithm for what pops up. So Steven has sports stuff. You guys have little boys, little girls. I get it.
Does he feel weird using TikTok at all? Because I feel weird.
Unless I bust them looking at something inappropriate. We're good. We're good.
That's funny.
That's great. So, Dee, do you have any good Dane stories? I kind of left you out during the intro because I didn't want Dane to get an idea of who the surprise was. But you did say that all the moms love Dane. And
I think that's why he's turning red, because he is such a sweetheart. One of our first interactions with Dane was that I can't remember what level they were. Oh, I guess it was high school hockey. Or was it Sabres? I don't remember, Dane, but you'll remember it. Jackson left his jersey at home, and so your dad offered yours, and he went out there, and there was 2 Dreyfuses out there.
Right? Jackson. Yeah, so I was working at B&R, and Jackson came in, and this is because I worked with Jackson. I actually knew Jackson before I knew Nate, who I'd end up playing with.
Okay.
But
so you weren't on the ice with him, but you lent him his jersey, so he was Dreyfus out there on the ice.
Exactly, and he took 3 penalties that game, was in the box all game. Coach Frasco was riding him that game. And then my sister, went to school the next day because she was in the same grade as Jackson. And everyone's like, does your brother play varsity? Like, that's so sick. And I'm sitting there like 5'3", 225, being like, yeah, I totally play varsity.
You were a pudgy kid.
I was a pudgy kid.
You were pudgy.
Especially my sophomore year of high school.
I just thought it was great. Such a testament to what a sweet kid he is, or man, I guess you guys are grown up, that even back then he was willing to give you literally the jersey off his back. So that Jackson could down the ice and play that night.
Yeah, good story. So can we talk a little bit about your boys, Dee, or is that off?
Yeah. I can answer anything. I didn't sign no waiver.
Can we talk about Steven too then for the people? All right. So Dee Kazari is family to me and Dane. Her husband, you guys have heard us mention him several times, is an NHL referee. Jackson is her oldest. Did he sign? Is he with the AHL refereeing, or is he with the W? Okay.
I'm contracted with the American League and still with the WHL as well. Western Hockey. Yep.
And then Nate just signed his contract as a referee with the USHL.
Correct.
So, growing up, Dee was the epitome of what a hockey mom and hockey wife was.
Hockey mom, hockey ref mom. Yep.
Yeah.
All of it.
So, Dane, let me get this right. You and Nate played on the same team. Is that correct?
Yeah, actually, I remember my first interaction with Nate. Like, me and him during tryouts my senior year, I was super stressed. If I don't make varsity, I don't know if I'm going to play this year. Just kind of like super intense. I remember actually one of the first things that Nate said to me before I even really got to know him was, "Hey, I'm rooting for you," which was really, really sweet and really nice to hear from someone that had already played varsity the year before. So then me and him, from there, were just best buds. Like, we hung out all the time, watched hockey, talk. But that's how I met Nate, was kind of through school and then through hockey itself. So I never played with Jackson.
Oh, you did not play with Jackson. Okay.
No.
And Nate, Dee, is this correct? Nate won the Illinois State Championship, right? That wasn't Jackson, correct?
He won. It was Nate, freshman and senior year.
Oh, yeah. 2 times.
Nate won it twice. Jackson won it 0. Yeah. 2 for Nate, 0 for Jack.
So, are the boys, you said Jackson lives in Vegas,
in
right?
Henderson, Nevada. It's not Vegas proper, but we're the Knights team. It's the Silver Knights. The American League team is based out of Henderson, Nevada.
Okay. And then Nate is well traveled for his age. He just moved back to Illinois, the Chicago area, but he was living in Des Moines. Is that right?
Des Moines last year, yeah, and Minnesota the year before.
Yeah,
This is
traveling
his 3rd
man.
year.
Traveling man. But now he's how far is he away from you, Dane? Because I saw that you guys were hanging out.
Oh yeah, he's in Berwyn, so it's about probably from me, it's probably like a 35, 40-minute train ride. And then like I'd still go to my parents probably every other week for a family dinner. And so he's about like 45 to an hour away from them too. So he's got people all over the place in Chicago, and he's got a bunch of his teammates too that still keep in touch with him. And we're stoked to have him back. Like I've already seen him like 2 or 3 times since he's come back.
When I talked to Steve, go ahead, Dee.
No, I said he got the home opener for the Chicago Steel for USHL the 27th.
Yeah, stay tuned for that, because there are some of the boys that hopefully Nate will have fans in the crowd. I can say that much.
That's awesome.
And we're thinking about, you might have to bleep this out if you can bleep it out.
We don't bleep it out, so it is safe. Go for it.
Editing takes a lot of effort here.
It does, man.
We're not really high.
We're not like that podcast moves at the Blue Line. We don't have any music intro. We're not that high. We're not that fancy yet.
If you want music, Abdu's just gonna have to sing.
Yeah.
I'll pass on the music then. But we're looking at getting a suite for that game because it would be sick.
Oh, that's
nice.
That's awesome.
That'd be fun.
So Holland, the Chicago Steel, is probably what 20, 30 minutes from where we used to live. It's who just got drafted by the Steel? Dane will know.
Macklin Celebrini. Oh wait, who got
drafted from the Steel? Yeah.
Oh my God! I mean, you have Michael Hage, John Muster, or no, was he Waterloo? I don't know, but Celebrini was the big one that came through the USHL Steel pipeline. The Steel are actually kind of like the Golden State Warriors, no pun intended, because Celebrini's dad's a trainer for them, but they're a dynasty in the USHL and kind of the London Knights, if you would say, of the USHL, hallmark franchise.
Dee, do you have any all right, well, let's just talk about this during the playoffs. I believe it was the playoffs. Steve took a nasty hit center ice. We talked about this on the podcast.
Pre-playoffs.
Yeah.
It was pre-playoffs.
Was it? It was before playoffs. You're right.
It was probably 3 weeks.
April 6th.
Yeah.
April
she
6th.
knows the date. So
the date. Yeah, for
we
sure.
kind of told the story. Do you want to tell your end? How you were not even? How did you find out?
I was watching the game at a restaurant, having brunch in Phoenix, getting ready to go to a wedding. And I had the bartender put the game on in the dining room so that we could watch it. And I like watching along and making sure they're safe and okay and upright. And I happened to look up at the TV, and both teams were standing around center ice. And I know from watching hockey all these years, my brothers played as well in British Columbia, that when both teams are on the ice, it's not one or the other team, it's an official. And my heart stopped, and I ran up to the TV, and then that's when they panned and had him on the stretcher. And I could see his hairline and his number, and I started bawling and got to my phone as fast as I could.
Yeah, because I text you immediately, and I'm sure you.
So
I'm sure you got a ton of texts.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, Stephen got over 400 texts and plus phone calls from Sidney Crosby to GMs and owners, coaches. Like, he is well respected, well liked, and that's a true testament right there. Is that the hockey family is tight, and when someone goes down like that, because I've never seen anyone get stretchered off like that before. I seriously thought it was his hip, because I didn't see the contact, so I didn't know it was a head injury. But it was the best way for him to come back and recover from a what they called it, a stage 4 concussion, because he was completely out for up to a minute, and just it let his body calm down. His heart rate reduced enough that he got onto the stretcher, but he was able to recover. His brain was able to reset, and he had zero issues after that, no symptoms. So they checked him all over the hospital, and then he stayed in Pittsburgh overnight, and then flew home the next day. And he still had no issues, but stayed off for the rest of the season, and then was awarded round 1. And that he went back, and his first game was in Seattle. And I had to go to that game and watch him go back on the ice. And my heart was in my throat the entire game, watching him out there. Oh, so nervous. So nervous.
Was it Vancouver, Nashville?
I was freaking out.
No, it was Pittsburgh.
It was Seattle. Oh, the game when it happened?
The game was Pittsburgh.
No, the game was Pittsburgh, Tampa.
Yes. It was a Tampa, yeah.
Pittsburgh, Tampa. Yep.
And when I talked,
what's his name? He never came back after that.
Hayden Fleury.
Hayden Fleury never.
When I talked to Steve,
never came back after that.
When I talked to Steve, he's like, "Yeah, I gave him a penalty like in the first period too, that same game." And then when I did call him, I go, "Hey, Steve, you okay?" And he goes, "Yeah, what are you talking about? Steve, you got hit. What do you mean?" He was like messing with me, but yeah, he's like, "Yeah, I'm fine. What are you talking about? Something happened?" So I'm like, "Oh boy." Yeah. So,
well, it's one of those things too.
My brother showed us this picture this summer of. Go ahead.
Oh, well, I mean, watching he was on national television when it happened. Me and my dad were sitting in the office, and like he's sitting there, and he goes downstairs for a second. I'm like, "Dude, Steve's down," and so we freak out too, and we're like, and watching, I'm like, you guys getting 400 texts. It's like we literally like we should probably hold off on texting them. They're getting like 400 texts. I think maybe my mom sent you something, but I'm like, I'm gonna let Nate and Jackson and all you guys like get together before we
I text the boys too first.
Yeah.
The boys were actually both working, and they got calls. Jackson had a visit down to the dressing room from one of the coaches. I think he was actually doing a Henderson Silver Knights. I can't remember the guy's name. Came down to the dressing room and just briefed Jackson on what happened, so that Jackson, had time to kind of process it. And Nate too, someone had called him or told him in between periods wherever he was. So they were well notified. And like I said, the hockey world's small. Someone knows someone who knows a trainer who was watching it, who knew where the boys were. So
that's something me and Holland have been saying the last few podcasts, is about how close and tight knit the hockey community is, how they're very supportive and everything. So, do you have any embarrassing stories of the boys?
No, probably nothing that I can put on air.
Oh, we only have one listener. We only have a couple listeners.
Fuck that. I've got an embarrassing story.
All right, let's hear it.
Embarrassing. Just fucking just something about Nate and just some of his idiosyncrasies as a player. Like, first game we played together was a preseason tournament in Glen Ellen, Illinois. And I somehow ended up on the ice with them. We barely played together or skated on the same pair together. But he goes down, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like he was like writhing in pain, and I was like, dude, you good? And he was like, dude, I got speared. And I'm like, oh shit. And then he's like, yeah, you got me right in the pee hole. And I'm like, dude, what? Like, are you wearing a cup? He's like, no. I'm like, why the fuck are you not wearing a cup, dude? And then Nate too, fucking whenever he got dressed in the locker room, I usually sat next to him or a couple seats away. Fucker always would get completely undressed, and his first 2 articles of clothing were his fucking socks and a beanie. Nothing else. He would sit like that for 15 fucking minutes.
Remember that outfit he wore for you guys? I think it was varsity year. And you guys went to the Salvation Army for a team building, and you guys all came back with outfits? It was like in Wisconsin or somewhere?
I wasn't on that team, but I saw I saw the photos of those, and that was electric. That was hilarious.
Yes. He had, I can't remember, very short booty shorts on and like an Elmo crop top and like a toque or something. It was the stupidest outfit.
All right,
Zero. Sounds like a Zeros trip to me.
Yeah. D, we love to have you on. We just wanted to have you on really quick. But would you we'd love to have you on longer with just you on the podcast in the future.
Yeah,
if you're cool with it. Yeah, let's do that. And then you can share more stories. But I will text you and tell the fam I said hello.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Hey, thanks for coming on. Me and Holly will talk to you in a couple weeks. We'll get you on to spill the beans on the boys.
Sounds good. Thanks.
All right, D. Love you. I'll talk to you later.
Thanks,
Good to see you, D. Love you.
All right. That was your surprise. It got a little windy, so I kind of wanted to cut it because she was cutting out and everything. So, Dane, tell us about your podcast and how it's not as cool as ours, but that's okay.
Do you do editing? Do you do editing on your podcast?
Oh, I mean, I'm basically the Holly of Moves at the Blue Line. I don't do any editing. I'm strictly talent. I'm
the talent, Abdu. You hear that?
You're the producer, Abdu. But
I don't do it. I just
Abdu does none of the producing. I am the producer. I'm just the producer who doesn't edit. I used to edit videos. I had a GoPro and would edit videos and stuff, and it's so freaking time consuming. It drives me nuts. And so we started this. I was like, hey, this is going to be unfiltered. We're just going to roll, let it be what it is. And that's what, like, a lot of the people that started listening right out of the gate, they were like, the funniest thing is Abdu saying something like completely off color and like off cuff that like makes me react. And they're like, it's hilarious. And we're like, well, then we're not going to edit that stuff out. We're obviously going to leave it alone. And then once we got rolling and we weren't editing, I was like, well, I'm just not going to edit. So I'm just going to stay in there. It is what it is. So.
Absolutely. It makes for the funniest moments. And you'll hear in our podcast, we listen to a couple of episodes when we want something cut out, we'll say, mark that. And Joey does the editing. So he gets to the final say on what gets cut and what doesn't. So whenever I have an embarrassing moment, it never gets cut. And the thing is so a little bit about me and Joey and the whole scope of the podcast. It is a Chicago Blackhawks podcast. Moves at the Blue Line comes from being an ill-advised thing to do in the game of hockey, but also there's a blue line on the CTA. So it's Chicago related. It's Chicago Blackhawks team.
Oh, you creative son of a bitch. I get it now. I like it.
Thank you. We had a graphic designer come up with a logo. She did a killer job.
Who was your graphic designer? Because I know who?
I know you're a graphic designer.
Yeah.
But I had a family friend named Maddie Menconi, who's been featured multiple times in Pottery Barn for some of her designs. So she came up with like 4 or 5 logos that all look incredible.
I haven't been featured in anything. All right, whatever.
No, I know. But
I would have charged you. Next time you ask me for a favor, I'm charging you. Prick.
Will do.
He's not going to charge you. No,
I'm not going to charge you.
The pod is a lot of fun. We focus on the Blackhawks and the family aspect of hockey and the inclusivity and coming from different backgrounds, because Joey's from Bettendorf, Iowa, by the Quad Cities, and he didn't grow up playing hockey, but he loved the sport. He had a couple stints in the SPHL as a play-by-play announcer. He was the Quad City Storms play-by-play announcer, and then he moved to Macon, Georgia, and was the play-by-play guy for the Macon Mayhem. And I come from a little bit different of a background, where I come from a middle-class family, which isn't necessarily typical for a hockey family. Played house hockey growing up, made it pretty high up, in my opinion. I think varsity hockey, probably in the state of Illinois, you're probably like 80th percentile in the world for hockey players. Like, say probably right above average, a little bit better than the average hockey player. But we love talking about hockey and just uniting our journalism background and covering our opinions on teams like the Blackhawks, and also being really fucking funny about it. So at least we'd like to think we are. That was a long-winded synopsis.
No, that was good. Very well spoken.
Yeah. So Do you do them weekly? Do you have scheduled podcasts? How often do you do them? And what do you do in the off season?
So for the off season, we do. We've only done a couple of podcasts because the news cycle is just so thin. And we're going to do a big summer update episode this Wednesday, actually. But during the season, we try to get an episode a week. It was actually pretty difficult last year because I was living in Milwaukee, working for a news station up there. And then Joey works for a radio station. He works for Cumulus, I believe. It's like it's not 101.1, I don't think, but he'll rag on me for not knowing. But he does a lot of overnight stuff, so the scheduling is pretty difficult. But we both have new responsibilities this season, so we're expecting to get more content out, higher quality content. So we're really looking forward to this season.
Nice. How do you think the Hawks are going to do? Do you think they're going to make the playoffs? They did some really good off-season moves. Picking up Bertuzzi. I'm a big fan.
I'm going to go on a limb and I'm going to say no. But I do think
playoffs.
Because when you go from the second worst team in the league, if you finished as the 8th worst team in the league, that's a significant jump. It would be an incredibly significant jump to go from second worst team in the league to in that 16 to 18 range. It's kind of unheard of. Now, Connor Bedard got a lot of help this offseason through free agent acquisitions such as Tyler Bertuzzi and Teuvo Teravainen returning to Chicago and signing a lot of veteran defensemen to fill in that core, and then finally getting Arvid Soderblom sent back to the minors and picking up a respected backup in Laurent Brossoit. But I don't think it's enough to make the playoffs. I think it's enough to make strides where the third year of Connor Bedard's entry-level contract is where we're going to see a push for the playoffs, and hopefully the Blackhawks will be playing in late April, early June again.
So who do you think is going to make a push for the Cup then? What are your top 3 teams?
Top 3 teams? Edmonton's easily number 1. I'm not going to have Florida in my top 3 just because they had a lot of free agents they lost. They lost Brandon Montour, who has been a staple on their first power play unit. They lost a couple other free agents, a couple depth pieces. I know Steven Lorentz comes to mind. But if I got to pick a team out east, that's tough. Not a fan of Carolina. I'm kind of iffy on New York, but I keep banging the Toronto. I'll go Toronto. Oh, the East is a crapshoot. I'll be honest with you. The East is a significantly more talented pool of players, but when it comes to getting it done in the playoffs, it's about who gets hot at the right time. And I like the addition. I think the biggest addition that isn't a skater is Craig Berube for the Leafs. They need a guy like that to get them to the next level. So I'm going to go the teams to watch. I like the Leafs. Not me going to my phone to look at the standings. Just look at. I'm trying to go through every team in my head. I'm caught a little off guard. My Stanley Cup prediction last season was one team off though. So give me a conference. You want another Western team or you want an Eastern team?
I was just wondering. You gave me a huge answer. I was just wondering who your picks were, and just leave it at that. Because I got another question for you, but just you already answered it. We're going back to beer league here.
Yeah.
And for a lot of people that are listening, Holland is still in the podcast. He just hasn't said much. This is, if you listen to our podcast, Dane, he talks, and this this is very, very out of my realm for him to be so quiet. So
you can notice Abdu's beginning to stutter, and he's having I have another question. I might have another. I mean,
well, you got up and left. You've been muting.
You answered too much in the last question, and so you actually already answered one of my
other
questions.
You know what? Just go back to not talking at all.
I'm just not really sure. My dogs were so I got up and I texted our group chat and said, "Hey, don't freak out, boys." But my dogs kept pacing back and forth on the other side of my screen here, and I could hear they were bumping into my back door, so they wanted to go out. And my oldest male dog has started like hiking his leg and peeing inside the house. He's 3 years old. He doesn't do that. So we're not really sure why he's picked that habit up. But I heard like book bags that hang, and that's some of the spots he's peed at. He was nudging them, and I was like, oh gosh, he's about to hike his leg and pee on the book bag. So I panicked, and I was like, I can't have this. Dane, if you've listened to the podcast, you've heard me talk quite a bit about how my dogs have either tried to ruin my house or ruin my hockey playing by destroying my equipment. And so
absolutely,
yeah, it's a nightmare. I have a very nice pair of skates that we got a puppy about a year ago, a little over a year ago, and she ate the tendon guard, or she started trying to eat the tendon guard off of I'd never even worn them on the ice, had just put them on my feet for the first couple of times, had them sitting in my room, and she chewed a C, the shape of a C, out of the edge of my tendon guard. So no one has CCM FT6 Pros quite like I do. They're 100% custom.
They're custom.
My dog customized it for me. I got a brand new Bauer helmet from my in-laws for Christmas. I didn't play for 10 years, so all my equipment was old and pretty ragged. And so I was kind of upgrading one piece at a time here the last couple of years. And so my in-laws were like, what do you want for Christmas? And I was like, I'd literally like a nice helmet. And so I kind of told them what I wanted, and also I got it. I didn't have it for 3 weeks?
Not even 3 weeks.
I think I wore it twice. And my
Does that person have a ball gag?
I'm on a podcast right now. That's my roommate Tyler.
Hey Tyler.
Hey, what's up, Tyler?
There he is.
Have him wear some lingerie.
Do you have a ball gag?
Or some lingerie?
Yeah, make him
put a tennis ball in your mouth. Just put a tennis ball in your mouth. We're talking about dogs. It'll work. It's close enough.
Yeah.
So the dog completely destroyed the liner and the helmet. I had to go buy a brand new one all over again. So it was a nightmare. So yeah. So my dogs have been trying to ruin me here over the last year or so. I don't know what their problem is.
You'll never financially recover.
No. Well, that puppy, she's a very specific breed. My oldest dog is a wire hair pointer. This is turning into a dog show now. Look at this. My oldest dog is a wire hair pointer, and he's a breed that I'd wanted for years and years and years. We had different breeds of dogs, and so found a guy that was within about 3 or 4 hours of where we live that bred them. He's a great dog. Like, he's really, really good, super loyal, just a really good dog. And so my wife last summer was like, "Ooh, look, the guy's had another litter. Like, I'm gonna go get the dog." And I was like, "No, we already have 2 dogs. We don't need a third." My wife was like, "Too late. I've already put a deposit." So we ended up with another dog. So she's a wire hair pointer, and so there's a cost associated, obviously, with going and getting a specialty breed dog or whatever. But within a week of her coming home, she had been bitten by a copperhead. So we had to go to the doctor. Yeah, we had to go to the vet. And have her
something you don't have in Illinois there.
Yeah. And so snake bites her. That's then within another week, we have a palm tree in our backyard that when the leaves kind of shoot out and sprout, they kind of look like these big long needles. Now, that's not a real big deal unless your dog runs around like a psychopath. And so she ran over and ran into one of those needles and filleted under her arm. And so had to go to the vet again and get that thing stapled up. And then a couple months ago, couple months later. So this is all before she hit 6 months. She ate a sock at our house and couldn't pass it, quit eating and everything for 24 hours, had to go to the doctor, and nearly had to have surgery to get it out. Thankfully, she passed it and all. Now she has allergies. I just went to the doctor and we had to do a bunch of testing. I was like, what are we doing? I looked at my wife. I said, this dog has cost us so much more just in medical bills in the first year than it even cost to get her in the first place. I was like, it's insane how
it's a hockey dog.
Yeah, dude.
The price of medical,
and she's killed multiple pieces of hockey equipment. So she's just killing me. So,
yeah, she knows what she's doing. I mean,
but I love her. I love her. She's a sweetheart.
I mean, getting the stitches, getting impaled. She knows her dad's a hockey player. So no, and I'm a big dog guy too. This is my dog Subban. He's named after, it's terrible lighting, but he's named after the analyst and hockey player. We named our dog after him after he donated $10 million to Montreal Children's Hospital. Nice. I always wanted a dog named after a hockey player too. And my mom's like, it's got to be a good man. And I was like, PK Subban, he's the shit. He's one of Norris, and he's one of my favorite analysts now too. So we're a dog-friendly podcast for sure, especially moves at the blue line.
Okay. All right. Do you have, so you only played a few years of beer league, right? Not even. Yeah. How many? Because you got 2 championships, at least with Sod, right? Thank you very much. Keeping my team in the Hall of Fame. Do you have any good beer league stories? Like, you're not much of a chirping, run your mouth kind of guy.
No, but
I remember,
I like my game to speak for itself, but I'm a competitive guy, and when I start running my mouth or start getting chippy, that's when I lose my temper and I lose self-control, which has probably led to a couple more concussions. But one of my favorite stories involves Zach, and I remember I was playing men's league. Zach Berlin, and I remember.
Were you discussing equipment? You had to be discussing equipment.
Oh, these two guys could just sit and talk about equipment for days.
It was like an encyclopedia talking to Google AI, right? Like,
dude, Zach Berlin's got steez though. You look at that guy, and he has no business playing men's league hockey, and especially he's a very good hockey player too. So, and he hasn't been playing for all that long, right?
Well, he played with Nequa, I think. So I
thought it was Naperville North, but I thought he was he was a Nequa guy. He started late though, didn't he?
I think that's right.
Maybe I'm thinking of someone else.
Yes.
I think he started late.
But I know Zach Berlin, great guy. But I remember showing up to this game in December, and I'm like, dude, I just feel off. And I'm lethargic, but I'm also like, I love hockey. And I was like, it could be seasonal depression. Like, I'm going to go out and play. I haven't played in like 2 months. So go out and play men's league. And I'm just sitting there and I'm skating around. I'm like, dude, why am I sore? Like, I know I haven't skated in a few weeks, but I'm just sore. Next thing you know, I'm like skating around and I'm like, dude, I don't have that next gear that I usually had. This is when I was still in somewhat good shape. And then out of nowhere, my nuts start throbbing. And I look over at Zach. I'm like, dude, like my nuts feel like are in my throat right now. I have no idea.
Bicycle pump?
No, just kidding. Bicycle pump, dude. I needed a fucking oil change. So I go skating into a corner and like I'm skating hard for a puck, a 50-50 puck, go get it, shoot it on net, fall into the boards, fall backwards, and I was in terrible fucking pain. So, like, I play the rest of the game. I don't skate as much as I do. I played probably about men's league or smaller rosters, obviously. So I probably played usually about a half a game, just being one of the younger guys on the team. But I go home and my family's eating dinner, and I'm like, I go home, fall on the floor, not like fall, but kind of not collapse, but lay down on the floor, and I'm just like, I need to go to the ER. And they're like, what's wrong? And I'm like, everything hurts, and I'm hot and I'm cold. Go to the doctor. It's not COVID. I had mono. I played hockey with mononucleosis. And my doctor says it's one of the worst cases he's ever seen. He says I'm lucky that if I took like a big hit, he's like, you could have ruptured your spleen, dude.
Good night.
Just fucking I wasn't able to play hockey for the next 6 months. That was my last game for 6 months.
Holy smokes.
Wait, so that was your most memorable beer league moment?
Isn't mono the kissing thing?
Yeah, I was just about to say.
I thought that's what mono was.
Yeah, who are you kissing? And we are saying kissing.
Is that why you started? Is that why you started with Berlin? Was it? Did you get it
me
from
and Berlin and Nate Kazari are sitting there.
Berlin's such a great guy. He's such a good
and
kisser.
Nate's just wearing socks and a beanie, naked.
I knew this was coming.
We kissed.
Hey, I gotta say, if Nate wears socks and a beanie and nothing else in the locker room, he would fit right in the Zeros locker room. Like, he would be fish in water, baby. I mean, perfect.
Yeah, it is the kissing disease. How I got it to this day, I don't know.
Because you don't kiss girls. You're worse than me. You're on a bigger drought than me.
I like licking poles, though, so I don't know if that got me there, but
glizzies,
like poles, like
what kind of pole?
Well, yeah, well, are we talking like quote poles? Are we talking
glizzies?
About poles, or
what are we doing here?
Yeah, like
I'll let you guys interpret that how you feel correct.
Like,
but
do you hawk to it?
I don't spit on that thing. But like the thing with men's league, I feel like I didn't play long enough to have like
good stories.
Dude, like, my stories are lame. I was thinking about it all day. I remember when we discussed me appearing on the podcast that I'd have a good men's league story. And I was literally thinking one of my best stories is literally I overturned my own goal because the goalie like had the puck covered. And I was like, the whistle isn't blown. I'm going to keep like fucking slapping his pad. Puck comes loose. I bury it.
Way to go, Spikes.
Fucking it goes in. The ref calls it a goal. Goalie's incensed. And then I walk over to the ref and be like, I'll be real. He covered it. And he's like, okay. And I'm like, you can overturn the goal. So we overturned the goal.
Were we up or were we down? Like, was it a crucial goal?
First goal of the game.
Oh, did we win the game?
We did.
Okay.
I think it was against the Scream. It was against the Screaming Seaman, and let me tell you, that goalie, not very good. But no disrespect, respectfully. But I like. I had to.
He's bad, but in a very respectful way. I love it.
Yeah, but we've had some fun games.
With all due respect. With all due respect.
Yeah.
Now I know that you're a walking ESPN stats guy. Do you have a favorite goal? I know you have a favorite.
Oh my God.
Yep, I knew. So this guy has hands, Holland, like the kids from KSU. Like he's just really good hands.
I can see from the picture behind you, it looks like he's shooting the puck at the rafters in that one. So I don't know what the follow through. The follow through is above your forehead.
I think that's just a photo op. That's just a photo op.
Blame the photographer. I couldn't stand it. I was like, dude, like you would never have your blade open on a shot. Like you would have it pointed where you're putting the blade. Literally, the toe is pointed to the ceiling. It's like that puck's not even getting off the ice. Fucking, let alone going up there.
You're not going bar down. You're going glass down.
That looks more like a fucking saucer pass than a shot. But
it looks like you're holding it up for what's that?
Looks like you're holding a rifle and looking down the scope is what it looks like.
It looks like you're holding it for limbo.
Let me tell you though.
All right, tell me your favorite.
Joey Natilli, great photographer, does great work. But my favorite goal, fuck, dude. Actually, I'm going to sound like a Band-Aid, but my favorite goal, I've got a couple. One was one of the only games my friends went to, and I played with a throat infection.
All right, so you're just a dirty.
You're a walking like mouth infection.
You're the only guy that gets STDs from no one that like has been around girls ever.
So fucking John Marola. I'm just gonna skip that and go right into the goal.
Good call.
Fucking John Marola goes into the corner of the offensive zone, the right side, drops the puck between his legs, and I don't think I've ever leaned into a shot as hard as that. And fucking shot it so hard that the puck was actually like probably like waist high, but I shot it so hard that this stand-up probably 60-year-old goalie couldn't even get down before it went through his pads. And then probably if I had to pick a second one, I scored against a really good team in Victory Tire where I walked through.
Oh, Victory Tire. Okay. Really good team. So Holland, they would be like probably the best team in the league, I would think. Dane, am I correct on that?
Yes. They usually got a bunch of ACHA kids to play, but I walked through 3 players, like kind of like trying to think. There's like a Jonathan Taves goal against Pittsburgh in the Stadium Series. It was kind of like that. And then I scored on my my buddy who's a goalie. His name's Alex Davis, played for Roosevelt University. And I went backhand, forehand, and roofed it on him. Sick goal. We're up 1-0. We lost 7-1.
You said 7-1?
7-1. Yeah. Only goal of the game for our team, and it was in the first shift. And I was like, "We got this." We did not have it.
Were you in that game? I don't think you were playing with us. Were you in the game where it was me, Marola, and Wilkie in the summer league? And I told Wilkie to go after Marola when Marola had the puck. Were you part of that game? That's my favorite game I've ever played in.
No, I missed that game, but fucking Zach Wilkie. What a fun guy. What a fun guy to play with, and he's fucking disgusting. He's so good.
I was this close to getting him on the podcast, but I think I freaked him out because he hasn't responded to my text afterwards.
Hey, he's a fucking superstar. He couldn't even give me a follow back on Instagram. Fucking asshole.
Oh, you know how long it took for me to get him to follow me, and then I just happened to send him like, "Hey, Wilk, you want to get on the podcast?" Oh yeah, that'd be great. Cool. And I sent him a whole bunch of information. Haven't heard back.
Yeah,
he left me on red. He left me on red. I even said, "Hey, look, dude, I'm not trying to tell you like I'm pregnant with your kid. I just want you on the podcast. Like, respond back to me, bud."
Yeah, he was fun to play with in men's league. Just he was an automatic goal, and then you put him and Marola together, like go to easily probably in men's league my two favorite players to play with. And I played with my best friend. He was not one of my favorite players to play with.
Who's Schlifke?
Schlifke.
Yeah,
And Schlifke's very good, but and we scored a lot together, but we rag on each other a lot. It was mainly me ragging on him because
you got so Holland. When we went to Nashville, these two jackasses. Look, Schlifke plays on sod right now still. These two guys went and play. They were playing in high school together, so they're pretty much like high school sweethearts, right? This Nashville tournament, they decided to make a bet to see who can score the most goals between them. You know what happens? These guys never pass to anybody. They just try to get as many goals as possible.
Okay, bullshit. First of all,
Dane does win. Dane does come ahead, but it was just like, all right, guys. It got so bad that Schlifke was like, I got to catch up. And it would just turned into like an audience.
I never knew that he said he had to catch up, but I also I'm a very conscious guy playing with guys that either like are just older than me in the sense of like
here we go.
I like getting everyone involved. Everybody eats, and I thought I moved the puck very well, and I like a men's league assist much better than a goal. Dude, Schlifke had one of the nastiest saucer passes to me that I scored on and went 5-1 a goal. And I was actually pissed I scored because I'm like, damn, the fucking better part of that play was how sick that pass was. And then some of the best men's league players I've played with, Wilkie's in a league of his own, but then Schlifke, best shot I've ever seen on an amateur. Great hands. Like
Marola's got a great shot too.
You don't let me finish. Marola is just the silkiest player I've played with in men's league. Like
ever?
Fucking
in men's league?
Yes. Effortless hands.
Mm-hmm.
Effortless hands, great shot. And he knows it, so he doesn't have to really when he turns it on, you'll see it. But for the benefit of our opponents, he's not a dick when he plays men's league. Neither is Wilkie.
Oh, he's only a dick to his teammates sometimes.
Dude,
and all in good fun. All in good fun, though.
You know what? I want to change my favorite goal because one of my favorite goal is probably
empty netter. It was an empty netter.
No, I passed.
I was scooping out the pucks out of the empty net during warm-ups, and I just flipped it up and kicked it.
I shot a puck basically off Wilkie's skate, back to me, and then buried it top shelf. So I basically gave myself a 2-on-1, passed it to Wilkie, goes off his skate, and I just bury a top titty. But no, those guys Schlifke's my best friend, and he's fun to play with. Gaffney's also on the team and plays occasionally.
Do you come watch us? Do you come watch him at all when you get a chance?
I didn't this summer. I didn't get a chance to. I did a lot last. I lived in. Sure. Hey, I fucking watched him when I lived in Milwaukee, and let me tell you, every time I came out, Bobby had a highlight reel goal.
I've played with him a few times, and he's a good kid. Yeah, I met up with you guys last year at the Foundry too.
Oh yeah,
that was the last time I saw you guys.
Yeah, Gaffney was my college roommate. Played college hockey with him. I'm gonna be the best man in his wedding.
He's getting married?
Oh yeah.
No kidding. I thought he was single.
No, his fiance is one of my best friends too. I've known.
What's his name?
Dane, I gotta say, hang on here. You got a lot of best friends.
He does.
There's a lot of them. This is my best friend. This is my best friend. If any of these guys or girls happen to listen to this podcast, you might get some weird text messages like, "I thought I was your number one, Dane." No, I thought I was your number one.
Dane, I got a question. It's not hockey. Well, It is hockey related.
You're my best friend, Jeremy. I'll answer your question.
There's two Jeremys here. You're probably talking about Holland. You just met him today.
It's the mustache.
All right, here we go. You ready? It's not a pee in the shower question, but it's a tough one. Nate and Schlifke are hanging on a ledge. You can only save one. Who do you save?
Oh, no.
Who do you save?
Oh, my God. Well, that's tough.
I got only
for the sake of this dilemma, because Schlifke's in my fantasy football league, and if I let Schlifke fall, we lose a member. But if I let him fall, we lose a good member, and it makes me easier to win the league. So
Schlifke, you're out. Sorry, buddy.
Honestly, in true hockey form, I feel like this is like a draft interview, a pre-draft interview. I find a way to say both of them. I don't care that it's not an option. You always have an option, and if it requires me dying with both of them, good cap.
You're going down with the
You're
going with the boat.
Yeah,
you're going with the boat.
Hey, right. ride or die with the boys. Yeah. Well, or what I do is I have Schlifke grab onto Nate's wang and then swing around. No, I don't.
Like jerk him off before you both die. Like let him go as a happy end.
Well, you should.
I was actually going to say,
as he's wearing socks and a beanie.
I know there's a third best friend here. It's the kid that's getting married. We'll call him the other third best friend. So between Nate Schlifke and this third best friend, you got to do the kill, marry, screw game.
Yeah, you got to fuck, marry, kill. So it's Bobby Gaffney.
Gaffney.
All right, it's Bobby Gaffney,
Schlifke, and
Kazari. You got to fuck, marry, kill. Yeah, you got to kill one, marry one.
I'm fucking Nate. I'm marrying Bobby. I'm killing Schlifke.
Wait, but there goes your fantasy football. So you just said
it's okay. He said it's all right. If he's gone, then it's easier for him to win.
Who's got the biggest? Who's got the biggest wrench out of the three?
This is fucked up. Like
you know the answer. I know you know.
I do. Dude,
come on,
dude. Fuck. I don't want to just fucking put this on the internet, dude. I mean, no. You know what?
Hey, it might help. It might help someone.
Wait, this is on the internet. This show's on the internet.
Yeah.
Let's just say one of.
All right, we'll just say this. We'll narrow it down to this: is one of them a USHL referee that has the biggest wrench? Yes or no? Was that a yeah? All right, guys. So you're going to want to go to YouTube, fast forward to the 1 minute and 6
1 hour
seconds.
And 6 minute
or 1 hour
mark.
And just look at the
answers.
Oh, well, I mean, that explains why this guy is just sitting there in socks and a beanie.
Abdu, stop. You're killing like everything that was subliminal about what Dane did. You just blew it up.
Oh, just call me Rob Cooch.
Way to go, Rob Cooch, you freaking narc.
I'm not on the record saying anything, and I do have muscle spasms. So once again, this whole podcast is up for interpretation. I might just be a figment of Abdu's imagination. Honestly, one of the first times I met him, he made me call him Daddy, and I just agreed.
You know what I wanted? So true story. I meant to say that in the introduction, but I took it out because of our guest. But then I didn't realize we were talking about getting high and all that crap. So, but
I love how we were. Never mind. Go ahead.
So, pineapple. So,
no.
Dane.
It's just been bad for you.
Dane is one of the rare guys that will call me Daddy on command. Like we would go at the. We would work at B&R together all the time. I have the video still. There was one time Dane wanted. I don't know what it was. We were working with Wilson, and I go, "Hey, Dane. Get on your hands and knees and bark like a dog." Oh, come on, Abdu. Do it. Gets on his hands and knees. Woof. Woof. I go, no, you got to put some more emphasis in it. And he legit did it.
I think I wanted to get off early. I think I had like a party or something to go to. Actually, no,
you know what it was? It was a Friday shift. You wanted to leave. Wilson's like, yeah, and it was a summer, so you could have, you were able to leave. And I was like, I'll stay. I don't care. And then I was like, yeah, get on your hands and knees and bark like a dog and get to leave. You're like, woof. And I go, come on. Do better than that. Woof. Hey, Dane, call me
With
Daddy.
Conviction.
Call me Daddy.
Right now?
Yeah, right now.
Oh, Daddy. Like, I'm very comfortable with my sexuality. I'm as straight as an arrow. So, like, if I call you Daddy,
you're so straight that you look at everybody's wrenches in the locker room.
They looked at me first. It winked at me. I swear to God. It winked at me.
It winked at you?
It winked at you?
Yes, dude. First, they're
like, did you wink back, or did you give them the lips like, little, hey, what's up, big guy?
No, it did that to me.
Yeah, but did you reciprocate?
I looked away, dude. I couldn't.
Okay, so when it winked at you, was it like flaccid, or was it like?
Okay. Yeah, what are we doing? What are we doing here?
Yeah, nothing like being rock hard in the locker room with the boys.
You don't know. It could be All right, never mind.
What was the game? What was the game that Kyler said we were supposed to play? What was it called? Oh
Tummy
my
sticks?
gosh! No, not tummy sticks.
Uh,
It was like junk chicken or something. Like you had to hold your buddy's junk in your hand. The first guy to get rock hard loses or something.
What was it? Something chicken.
I can't remember what he called it. It was
Yeah.
something chicken. Oh man! And he said it, and everybody was like, "All right, okay, next, whatever we're talking about next is good." Like, let's just move on. Like, thanks.
Was
for
it
that
nervous?
one,
It was nervous chicken, wasn't it?
Was it nervous chicken? I don't remember what it was.
Is that what your new roommate are gonna do now? Like, we're gonna try it,
dude. There's an episode. If you've ever seen The League on FX, it's a fantasy football show. There's a whole episode on fear boners, and it's the funniest. It's probably the funniest episode in the whole show. You're just so scared to get a boner. Fear boners.
Really? Aren't you the one that took Viagra and just sat down and watched gay porn by yourself? That was you, right?
It sounds funny. I wish it was me, but it sadly. Well, so me and my buddy. I won't use the word best friend.
Me and my best friend, we all took a Viagra and a Cialis, and then we just watched random porn. The first one to get a boner lost, and we had to take care of it.
Well, my buddy's a stand-up comic, and he was like, dude, for a bit, we need to go to this place at Illinois State, because that's my alma mater. It's where I went to school. And the student center was called the Bone Student Center. And he was like, dude, let's take Viagra and go have a boner in the bone. And I'm like, we never ended up doing it, but it was something that we always dreamed about.
Wow. Living the dream, huh?
That's big dreams there, Dane. Big dreams.
I just dream of having a good, healthy hip. And here we are like, hey, I want to take a Viagra.
And go have a boner at the bone.
Yeah, in public.
Well, I mean... I don't know how we get on this. This is a beer league.
You got us here. Abdu. How did we get to this weird, Do
you talk about this on your podcast?
No, I'm sure he does not talk about flaccid or erect penals on.
Honestly, we really don't. But so we do a whole half an hour junk sesh. No pun intended. We literally just ramble on, talk about any tangents, and get it out of the way before the podcast. It doesn't really prevent tangents, but we have like a good we get a good flow for conversation going on. It's like a warm up. It's like a 10-minute warm up in hockey.
Yeah, we choose to record that and call it our podcast. So a lot of times it makes me really uncomfortable. The last 6 minutes has been probably one of those like super uncomfortable moments for your boy here. So
hey, Ron Unfiltered, us hockey players in Illinois, we fucking have a raunchy sense of humor. What can we say?
You know what? Again, once you meet the Zeros, I think they come from Jersey. We got a couple guys
a lot of
from
them
New
come
Jersey.
From Jersey, some Pennsylvania guys in there
Alaska.
too. Yeah. Oh man, there's a Colorado one in there. Yeah.
That's
the Alaska one's real bad. Dane? Have you watched much of our stuff on YouTube or anything?
I've watched a couple episodes here and there. My dad sends me your guys' clips and stuff. So
you gotta go look at the what did we call it? Did we just call it Gino and Pack?
Pack and Gino, Pack and Grant.
Pack and Gino one. You don't have to go to YouTube. You don't have to watch it for very long, but you'll figure out real quick a little bit of what our locker room looked like when we traveled to Atlanta a few weeks ago. It was
do me a solid and just watch like the first 10 minutes.
Yeah, a guy in his socks. If you hang on and if you've got, what was it, a 2-hour podcast?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you've got a couple hours, and you can just have YouTube rolling, while you're doing other things, but keeping an eye on it, there's some phenomenal nuggets all through that are, there's a lot of body parts that end up all over the screen at various times in that podcast. It's pretty interesting. So,
I saw that video on Jeremy's OnlyFans.
No, it's not him. He couldn't put that one. That's a different video. It was not Abdu's body parts, thankfully.
It was not mine.
Around.
It was not mine.
It was guests and their guests' body parts that were.
Oh, I was thinking of his video titled "Boo Hockey" on his.
Boo Hockey. That's right. That's right. No, now you're referring to the New Jersey side of things. That's the boo to his cocky. Yeah, that's right.
Oh, Dane. It's been a pleasure. It's been great seeing you. I'll tell you what. Do you plan ever skating again, or are you just done?
We're going to give it a year or two. That fire never goes out. Everyone know if you've played hockey, it's the worst addiction in the world.
It really is, yeah. But it's great therapy, right? Like you just feel it does wonders. Just like Cooch said, like we all need hockey in our lives. We can't just give it up. So.
I'm currently in the talks with some non-traditional neurologists to see about certain methods of physical therapy, just to see if I can get back to feeling 100%. I'll be honest, I've really never gotten back to fully 100%. I know that cognitively I'm 100%, but physically I've never gotten back to 100, which it's a brutal truth. But if I can find a way to get back to 100, I would love to play again. But it's not even for a lack of trust in myself. It's a lack of trust in all it takes is one dude to spoil the party.
Oh, don't I know? You want to hear what happened to me in Atlanta really quick?
I'll tell the story.
All right.
I'll tell the story. So we were playing in our second game in Atlanta, and we were
this
playing
a month ago.
Yeah. 3 weeks? Yeah, something like that. So anyways, we playing some teams that were a step below what we brought up there. And so we had actually brought some extra guys that would play with them. And one of those guys is a guy named Matt Pellegrino. He's a late 20s guy, pretty good hockey player, came from the Jersey area. And he was playing D and kind of was pinching to a 50-50 puck that Abdu was stepping towards as well. And they collided. Now, from the bench, it looked like Abdu took it in the peen. And so he immediately Abdu kind of doubled over a little bit. But there was no it didn't look like a major collision or anything like that. It just kind of two guys bumping into each other where a loose puck was at. Again, right at the blue line, 10 feet off the boards, nothing major. And the next thing you know, Abdu can't get his feet back underneath him. He's doubled over. I think you ended up on your knees on the ice after a couple seconds.
Yeah, right in front of the bench.
Yeah, so they blow the whistle.
I don't remember this. Don't remember.
Yeah, so they blow the whistle and stop the play and everything. And I hop out there. I'm thinking his nuts are in his stomach or something. What's going on? And then I was like, well, maybe it's his hip.
And he's maybe he has mono.
Yeah, he might have mono. His spleen may have just ruptured. You just never know. And so it could be the COVID. It could be flu. Who knows? They kissed apparently while they were both wearing cages, but apparently they locked lips when they collided. But at any rate, we get out there and he's basically like, hey, it's my head. I totally rung my bell basically. And we're all like, how on earth did you I don't even think he hit the ice when it happened. It just kind of stood him up a little bit. And so it must have been enough of a snapback that triggered a concussion. And we got him to the bench. It took him a minute to get there, but we got him to the bench. He laid face down. The Kennesaw State kids that we had on last podcast, one of them was reffing the game. And we were talking a little bit. He was like, oh yeah, I remember that game. He was like, you were whining behind the bench like a baby or something, like something bad had happened to you. We laughed. I was like, yeah, he had a concussion. And the kid was like, oh, sorry about that. So yeah, Abdu, we were like, you'd probably go to a doctor and all. And no, I don't want to go to the doctor. I don't want to go to the doctor. And so the period finally ends. He kind of lays behind the bench for the last minute or so, gets up and hops over the boards and starts skating. My wife was there with us. And the next thing, and so I hop out on the ice to skate with him. And I kind of glance over and I hear somebody going, Jeremy. Or they said, Holland. And so I look over and there's my wife at the corner of our bench. And she looks at me and she was like, is he going back out there? And I was like, well, he's already back on the ice. So yes, it looks like he is going back out there. She goes, was that a good thing? Does he need to go back out there? I said, honey, he's 48 years old. What do you want me to tell you? He won't let us sit him down. And so I knew he was a little loopy and out of it. He asked us if we were winning. We were up 5-1 at the time. He wanted to know if we were winning or losing. He had even scored a goal in that game already. So it was really...
He was definitely concussed.
Yeah. And so we got to... That game was at 4:00 in the afternoon. So we left there, went back to the hotel, showered, and then we went downtown into not downtown Atlanta, but near the ballpark in Atlanta, and a place called the Battery, and did dinner probably at 9:00 that night, 8:00, 9:00, something like that. It was later. And so at that time, when food started coming out, he made some comment. We could see all perked up. And I was like, he's back now, finally. And that's kind of about the marker that he remembers. He's like, I remember being in the restaurant and doing stuff like that, but there's a huge area of just
They said I was
blank.
quiet, like very abnormal, quiet after the game, and yeah.
How recent was this?
About 3
weeks ago.
3-4 weeks ago.
How are you doing now? Like,
Dude,
do you feel better?
I honestly, it was like
it's the best
when
thing
the food came. Yeah,
when
the food came, when the food came, it was like smelling salt, and I came back. I didn't have any. Like, you know how sometimes you get a concussion, you get a little bit of aches and pains in your neck or in your jaw. You get light sensitive. I didn't have anything. It just felt like a dream, honestly.
The hit really was not that hard of a hit, which was really peculiar. I mean, it really. Everyone thought he took it in the junk. 100. Like everyone sitting on the bench, everyone on the ice, they thought like his nuts just got knocked up into his belly button, because that's kind of the way it looked like. That's kind of the way he doubled over. That's kind of the way he reacted and everything. And so it was really confusing when he was like, "Hey, I kind of got my bell rung." And so, but he had all the markers of being concussed. I had one when I was 18. The first time I played, I pulled my cage off. I had a kid high stick me in the face, stood me up, and I remember getting to the bench, but I don't remember a whole lot after that. But I remember we went to a restaurant with our team afterwards, and I think it was a waitress walked by, and I made some comment about what she looked like. And everybody was like, "Oh, he's back now. Like he's back." And I remember being in the restaurant. I remember the waitress walking by or whatever. And so, but like, yeah, food. I mean, it wasn't the food that I was commenting on, but yeah.
Yeah, but seriously, I don't even remember. They said I was laying face down behind the bench. Don't even remember that.
We kept trying to make him sit up, and I was like, I don't think it's a good thing for you to lay on your face down. This seems like a bad idea. He kept going, "I'm fine, just leave me alone." I was like, I don't think you're fine,
dude. That's like so relatable. Just like when you I've had a few, and it's just like you want to just go lay in a room and just have no one. Like you don't want to think, you don't want to talk, you just want to sleep, and you just want to not be sometimes bothered.
Yeah, I mean. Have you ever had one so bad where you just couldn't sleep, and you couldn't I've had one really bad where I couldn't sleep. I just almost felt like manic, like you just had to pace around and stuff. Though that was a bad one too.
Yeah, I've had one like that where it was super scary, and honestly, I actually kind of rung my bell not this past Thursday, not this past Thursday, but the Thursday prior. I was just hanging out at the beach. We were throwing the football around. I made a diving catch, caught the football, and I got up and I was like, dude, why am I I was tense, and I had a headache for a week, and I was like, what the fuck? So your threshold gets
you
smaller.
Had a Tua.
To get one.
Tua Tagliafico.
Well, here's the weird thing about my concussions.
Isn't it Tagliafico?
No, Tagovailoa.
Tagovailoa. Weird thing about my concussions.
No.
I've never lost consciousness.
It's the Kmart version.
I've never forgotten where I was. The most I've had is severe headache, anxiety, light sensitivity. But I've never lost consciousness, and it's definitely changed me. And I definitely fear for the effects down the road, but it's one of those things where you kind of have to live life differently. You have to be more stressed about I flinch very easily. If someone's gonna high five me, pat me on the back, I don't like the way that feels anymore. It hurts. My body is glass at this point.
Yeah, I get.
So have you still been working out and stuff too? Post recently or not really?
Why would you ask? Can't you tell? I'm eating loaves of bread for the sake of working. Dane, I am such a fat disgust. I'll send pictures of so I'm.
Did you just say I'll send pictures?
Yeah, I send Holland pictures.
Different than the usual ones?
No need.
I'm on a
He's
loaf of bread. I'm on a loaf of bread.
Co-star in these.
I'm on a loaf of bread kick. I'm fine. I got one today, but
Did you really?
I still.
Yeah, did you go get one today?
Yeah, I'll send a picture. So I get a loaf of bread. You know how Jewel does the loaves of bread. Do you even go to Jewel anymore? Go grocery shopping?
I live. That's the closest grocery store is Jewel.
Yeah, so you have a Jewel at every day at 4:00. They have fresh
the loaf of bread
bread.
looks like this. Okay, this is the loaf.
I always
of
take
bread
a picture of my form. Yeah, every day. But
I go to baguette, dude.
No, the baguettes are a little smaller. I like the full ones that is like holding a Dirk Diggler.
Oh, you like them long?
Yeah, long and thick. Yeah.
And hot.
But yeah, I still work out. I worked out today.
You ever get headaches when working out?
Yeah, but that's just because it's hot and disgusting down here. I've had headaches before working out, but not like post-concussion headaches or anything like that. So here's the thing. I'm trying to play as much as I can because I know my time is limited in the future of playing. So I'm just trying to get as much time as I can to play now. Because I'm not going to
be damned. We're going to keep rolling, right, Abdu?
Yes. Yep. If it's not an upper body, it's going to be a lower body that retires me. So, again, like you said, the sport is an addiction in a good way, in a healthy way. And the people that you meet, again, back to that hockey community thing. Are you charging up your phone? Or
he is. I was just getting ready to say, I hope Seymour watches this and she can understand what a responsible adult looks like. Don't worry, guys. We don't have to cut the podcast rapidly short, like out of nowhere. Because
you know Kelly Seymour,
I have
right?
a charger and I can plug my computer in.
I know Kelly Seymour.
Yeah. So we were our last podcast. She's like, "Hey guys, I just want
to go.
Gotta go. My computer's at 2%." And we're just like, "Wait, what?" And she's like, "Yeah, okay. Now I'm at 1%. Gotta go." Like, just plug it in. Like you're in.
We'd been talking for like 45 minutes, and all of a sudden she goes, "Computer's at 3%. Sorry, boys, got to go." And we were like, "Wait, what?" "Yeah, I forgot to plug it in." And I was like, "Well, plug it in now." And so we talked for just a second. And Abdi goes, "Well, where are you at now?" She goes, "Just 2% now." And I was like, "Just plug the thing in." Oh man, that's funny.
Women, Dane.
I think women are the future of our country, and they are beautiful. And I will not be recorded saying anything negative towards women because.
Oh no, we love Kelly. We love Kelly to death.
Kelly's
I'm incredibly single.
Kelly is the official dump and skate little sister.
Official, yeah.
Official.
She just played
official.
She just played in a tournament this weekend and made it to the championship. But I'm not going to say how they did. We'll wait for the podcast when she hops on.
Yeah, we're going to have her on to talk about it. So,
man, I kind of wish I surprised you with Lemke, but I think Lemke would be a little too shy to come on.
I just want to meet the kid. Like that child is one of the most cute babies.
True story. When I was at when I saw you guys in October, me and Marola and you know Shane, right? Yeah, Shane. We went to Charlie's Pub, and Marola's like, "Hey, if you stay, I'll buy you some fried Oreos." And I'm like, "Well, say less." So I stayed there.
Speaking to my stomach there, Admiral.
So I stayed there, and the next thing I know, it's 1:00 in the morning. And if you guys know me, that is 12 hours past. Yeah, it's 12 hours past my bedtime. And then the following day, I went out to dinner with a couple of my other friends. And as I'm leaving, because I was so tired, Hobbs and Lemke walk in. And I go, "Well, I guess I'm staying at Charlie's Pub again." So and I gave him some zeros, and Lemke loved them, loved the zeros. So I'll bring you some.
I'm so excited to get some. I was just about to say, I've been so excited. Like, dude, that needs to come to Illinois already because I want to brag to my friends, be like, "Yeah, I know the guy that created this," or I'm a handshake away.
We can introduce you.
Yeah, for sure. He's going to hear this and he'll be like,
he's going to narc you out. Whatever secret you tell him, he'll accidentally narc you out. But great guy.
He's going to say, "Hey, whoever that guy was, give me his address. I'll send it to him." Like he's that generous. Rob Cooch is a good dude. And
does he wear number 86?
No, he wears number 18.
Dude, with the last name like Cooch, like Kucherov, I would absolutely be rocking 86.
Why 86?
Kucherov, Cooch.
How long are you following this?
Yeah. Why are you not following this?
Nikita Kucherov for the Tampa Bay Lightning.
Cooch. I got you. Okay.
The name Kucherov off like 42 times. I think you may need to go to the doctor tomorrow. Good night, man.
I got it now.
Holland, are you following this? Yeah, very clearly following it. He said the last name and the number associated with the player.
I got it.
Yeah, but I need to come out and visit you guys in Carolina too.
I'll tell you.
I'm.
Well, I wish you played because they do a headbangers tournament down here.
Yeah, headbanging is the last thing I need right now.
No, it's not that kind of thing. It's not a
I
headbanging
know.
tournament. Although that would be kind of.
I'll tell you what. Why don't? Why don't? If you ever want to, if you want to,
pass it out first.
You got a place to stay. You want to come down here? I'll mail you some zeros. Holland's got to mail Seymour some. He gave me his word he would.
Yeah.
I'll send you some. I guess Cooch is trying to get them to sell nationwide, but it takes some time. It takes some time.
Yeah.
When we were in Nashville back in June, him and his business partner were meeting with the powers that be for the state of Tennessee, and they got approval while we were out there, so they're moving into Tennessee. But even once they get approval, it takes 6 to 8 months to actually have them go live to be sold there. So, and there's other stuff that's going on with Rob and them too. So this is essentially their second batch of the drink. So they had a first batch where they changed some of the formulas in the drink. So some things were a little too sweet, so they changed some things up. And then they also changed like the can logos and designs. But like if you held a can, and we'll get you some too. But if you held a can, it looks like a vinyl wrap around the can, and it's because it's kind of their initial like run. And so once they roll past this like batch of inventory, they'll go into like actually their own cans. So it'll be a printed can and everything. It won't be like the vinyl sleeve type thing. And so and it gets a little better for them, I think, profit wise. From there on out. So, but yeah, their Rob is pushing hard. That every trip we've made to play hockey, with the exception of the Jacksonville trip, he's used it for like a networking thing. Like when we were in Atlanta, he rolled through a bunch of different bars in Atlanta, all in that Battery area. And we're like, hey, you guys need to, stock this stuff. They are officially in Bryant-Denny Stadium in Alabama. So he's been out to Alabama the last couple weeks, I think. Pushing that stuff, having big events there and everything. So they sell them inside the stadium. So, which they're actually they've got ties to the football program as well. I met a guy over the summer that was like, oh, hey, zeros. I know a guy. I know something about zeros. And I was like, you do? He said, yeah. He said, I work for the guy works for like the NIL stuff for schools and all. He's doesn't work for them, but he's tied into like the financial side of the university that deals with like big corporate sponsorship and stuff. And he said, yeah, Zeros is a sponsor of the university. I said, oh, well, I know one of the owners. He goes, you do? I said, yeah, we play hockey together. He was like, oh, that's incredible. So yeah, Rob's making big moves for sure. So hopefully they'll get up that way soon.
It's just, it's so weird because my nephew just turned 21 and selling them inside the stadium. I think that's just badass that they're selling inside the stadium. And
they sell them here at the ECHL team, the Ghost Pirates. They're inside the facility here too.
Doesn't he own them, Cooch?
No.
Or is he a partial?
No, they had some. Affiliation with them, but I think what they were trying to do was connect with them to push the Zeros brand, and the team has some previous ties to other alcoholic beverages. And so they basically were like, hey, look, we can't really do what you want to do. And so they mutually agreed to step back from that sort of partnership, I think is the way it was kind of described to me. So, but yeah, they sell them there for sure. And Rob was pretty close. Rob, I think, stays pretty close with that ownership group too. So he knows a lot of the moving and shaking that's happening with them.
Yeah, it's probably the best run ECHL team in the league.
It's pretty impressive, the sellout crowds and stuff like that they've had. I know they've set several records for selling out the most number of games and stuff like that for a first and second season. We know a couple guys. As a matter of fact, one of the guys back up from your way. Now I'm completely blanking on his name, and I feel like an idiot for this. Played with my roller team last year, Abdus, from your area.
Jordan Atkins?
Jordan Atkins. Yeah, so Jordan works in their group ticket sales office for the Ghost Pirates, and so he's sounds like they're doing really well with season tickets and things like that. And also, yeah, good stuff. Hey, I need that program to do good because it means we get to keep hockey. So if that goes away, we all go back to playing roller hockey, which I'm okay with, but I really like being inside where it's cold and on the ice.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
Do you play pond hockey at all with your head issues? Have you ever just gone out and...
The most I'll do is I'll do like a stick and puck at this point. Yeah, I do stick and pucks. I like pond hockey is a little bit because I don't want to be the guy out there with a helmet on because it looks pretty stupid, but it's also for my safety. So I'll occasionally like. I'm the kind of guy too where my ideal hockey scene is like Gordon Bombay, like when he was a kid at like 6 p.m. In the afternoon, no one else is on the ice, just by myself. Like, you give me skates, gloves, stick, net, puck, I could be out there for 15 hours by myself. The second you start mixing people, I'm kind of like it ruins something for me. I've actually considered occasionally. Talking to like Manny or Shelly over at All Seasons and being like, hey, like sheet of ice I know costs like $200. I'll give you like $100 or $200 at like one of these days at like midnight if you have no one on the ice. Like I'll take it for myself and just skate. So I've considered doing that. I miss it. I genuinely, it's probably
100%. Yeah.
It's difficult not to play, and I'm proud of myself. It's one of the biggest self-controls I've had to prove for myself is that there is life after hockey, and I'm still involved in the sport. I occasionally coach, I occasionally ref, or I still have the podcast, but it's taken a toll on me, and I do question a lot too. I'm like, why is this happening to me? Why do I have head issues? Like, it's something I've had to learn too. That like I could continue to play, but I will be foregoing issues later in my life. And there are players in the NHL that have had probably still play that have much worse issues than me. But because it's a living for them, they continue to play, or they love the game so much they continue to play. And you got to remember, you're going on your own hockey journey. And I know for me, what my goals are for down the road are to have a family and be able to play with my kids someday, and be able to be of sound mind. And honestly, with the path I've been going down, just because you're not getting any concussions playing hockey doesn't mean you're not getting any concussions at all. And that's the sad truth of it too. Yeah. Accidents happen, like car accidents happen. I hit my head on my fridge last year, Labor Day, and gave myself a conky because I'm a fucking moron. There's hockey concussions, and then there's moron concussions. And believe it or not, most people probably get 1 or 2 moron concussions in their life. So
yeah. Take care of that nugget.
I'm trying, and I feel like my mom makes the joke too. She's like, "Dude, I feel like you have a magnet for that thing," and I'm like, "I got a pretty face. A lot of people want to touch it." So,
oh come on, you're so
like the refrigerator, yeah.
Dane, thank you so much for being on. I owe you big time. It's great seeing you. I'll be back up there soon. I'm actually going to bring Farthead Holland with me at some point, so let's all get together. Let's go to the Foundry.
We can do a stick and puck.
We'll do a stick and puck. We'll return the favor. We'll have you guys check out the moves at the Blue Line Studio.
Oh, I would love that.
That'd be cool.
It's in Brookfield. We call it the Zoo. So it'll be a lot of fun. And honestly, I see a lot of similarities between our podcasts. Like, definitely probably relate a little bit more to Holly without the editing part and just the face of the whole program. But thanks for having me on, guys. I appreciate this. You guys have a great production, and having Dion was an awesome surprise. And honestly, like just getting an hour and 40 minutes of content, I'm thoroughly impressed. So
right, well,
hats off to you guys, and I look forward to seeing you guys soon, seeing the podcast get even bigger and bigger. And
I hope
you
so.
guys are
spread the word. Spread the word for us. You have enough hockey friends that you could spread the word for us. And you got that pretty face that on Grindr. So
that the refrigerator loves.
But Dane, thank you so much for being on the.
Absolutely, and I've been neck deep in that refrigerator, so it better love my face.
It's better than being fist deep.
And that's all for the shows.
Dane, I'll text you later on this week. But take care of that take care of that nugget of yours and
take care of the noodle, man, for sure.
Yeah, keep on looking at wieners in the locker room.
Will do. You guys too. I'll talk to you guys later.
All right.
See you, buddy.
I'll talk to you later, my dude.
All right, bye.
Yeah, you know what?
Now we flipped it.
Just hearing, like, talking to friends like that from home, it makes me miss home so much more now. Like, damn it, having Dion, I miss home. You got to come with me. You got to come with me. Meet these guys.
We'll figure it out.
So
we'll figure something out. So.
Anyone else that wants to hop on board and come to Chicago, you're more than welcome to.
You just have to sleep outside.
Or Berlin's house. We'll go to Berlin's house.
Bring a tent.
So, another long podcast. So
it's not my fault this time.
No, I had to take over. Yeah,
quiet as a mouse. I told you were going to have to drive the bus on this one.
Yeah, I hope I did all right, guys. Let me know how I did. I did. Yeah,
I really didn't have anything to say when Dee got on there because I was like, I don't want to interject. She doesn't even know me at all, and she can't see me. And so I was like,
she can see us. I don't think we could see her.
Well, she had her camera turned off, so I don't know if that meant, and she was on her phone, so I don't know if that meant she could or couldn't see. Either way,
she's gonna have some good stories. I'd like to get her on.
Yeah, I don't want to. I was like, I don't want to like ruffle any feathers or rub anybody the wrong way. So I was like, I'll just kind of let it play out how it's going to play. So I
think if anyone's ruffling feathers and
it was 100% Dane that was sharing all these wonderful stories while Dee was hanging out in the lobby and he didn't even know it.
Oh, Abdu's fisting videos. Oh, Dee.
And he's like, yeah, we all got so high on that one. I'm like, this is the kid that all the moms love. Like, this is so good. He has no idea. Oh, man.
But he is a good kid. I can see why all the moms love him. And
very well spoken, super articulate guy. So
and he knows his sports stuff. He's just a walking ESPN. So
yeah, he is. I can imagine, you said he was a gear guy. And I said this, that if him and Berlin sat together, it'd be like Chat GPT and an encyclopedia having a conversation. Like it
would be such a weird conversation. Yeah. But I mean,
do you think it would be a lot of
They should take Viagra and start talking about gear.
That new dare.
Yeah. But Dane's the kind of guy like, hey, what kind of gloves does Sergey Fedorov? Oh, well, in 2018 he used this, and then he switched to that. Like he knows stuff like that. He used to be really good at sticks. He used to tell me he would study like player sticks. So
yeah.
Yeah. Funny. Okay, Berlin, Dane. We're gonna take some.
Challenge.
You guys,
challenge. The blue pill challenge. The blue pill
talking
challenge.
Gear. First one.
That's right.
First one to get aroused.
First one to get aroused while talking about which is their favorite color hockey stick. So.
Yeah, we'll get them a stick like the color of the color of pack stick, like just the Cialis stick,
and a green and a blue, all the colors. Oh, man. All right, guys. Thanks for listening. We appreciate you. We'll see you next time. We got some good podcasts coming up. Got some more guests. Got some surprise guests that are kind of new to us. Some college hockey, some college women's hockey, some women's hockey. It's all in the future. We're really excited about it. So stay tuned, guys. We'll see you soon. Thanks. Peace.
Bye.